How's it going, everyone? It's Alex with AC Flips on YouTube. I'm a full-time six-figure Amazon seller, and I'm back with another live sourcing video. This one's more geared towards the beginners. I went a little bit slower, didn't go through a ton of products like I did in my other live videos. I wanted to really break down each product that I went through and show you the kind of the process that I go through when looking for profitable products, whether that be variation listing or just making sure I'm not missing out on things while not wasting a ton of time on the bad products. So without saying too much more, let's jump right into it. Okay, we got 10 minutes on the clock. I'm going to go a little bit slower for the beginners to kind of give you a sense of how I walk through each product and how I try to look for leads, as I'm sourcing. So I'm going to try to source some Nike or Adidas products. Basically, I'm just going to type in Nike shoes. This is a really simple way to go about things. You can just look at a certain listing, and we're going to be storefront stalking, which is basically you're looking at other people's listings and seeing if you can't find the same, source where they found those products that they have on their Amazon store. So we can start women's sneaker running, pretty generic, but a lot of times these generic shoes have some good listings, and people are able to find them pretty profitably. So we are just we're not even going to look into this one. We're just going to go down here, and we're going to look at all of the FBA sellers, right? We want to source our products FBA, so if we assume the other people are profitable FBA, then we should be able to source off of their storefronts. My goal is to keep the reviews under like 1,000 reviews, maybe a little more than 10 reviews, just someone who's has some experience, but not someone who's doing wholesale or something, above like 9,000 reviews. That's way too many. Probably has some wholesale products, or they've been around a really long time. Probably want to avoid them. 4,000 is still quite a bit. 5,000 is a lot. 126, that's good for me. So we'll start with that. So you click that FBA button, and then it takes you to the Seller Amp storefront of this person's store. We're going to sort by all their Nike products. So you click that, and it sorts. This is the Seller Amp extension, by the way. This is super helpful for reverse sourcing and just tracking your products in general. So what I'm looking for is a lower rank, a max cost that seems reasonable based on what the price is, right? If the max cost for a pair of shoes is $12, probably going to avoid that one and move on to the next. The number of offers, depending on the rank, right? If there's a 9,000 rank, 50 offers might be acceptable, but if it's a 250,000 rank and there's 50 offers, probably something we might want to avoid as well. And then we can see the buy box price. This price here is what the storefront is listed it at. So always look at the buy box price. Don't look at this, because sometimes they list above, or the price has tanked from, the current buy box is tanked from where they have had it listed in the past. So, and then maybe a glance at the Keepa chart just to see if there's anything that's semi-flat that we can source. We don't want something that started at $40 and now it's down at $20, within a 3-month period. As we can see here, 23K rank, 850, 885 for a t-shirt. So this max cost, before I start, this max cost is based on 25% ROI minimum and a $3 minimum profit. So if we match the buy box, we would have to get below an $8.85 buy cost to achieve those metrics that I set for myself. So the shirt here, it's fairly consistent. We can see it, it's around the $20 range, got above to maybe $25 in the past, sitting around $22. $8 for a t-shirt might just be a little tricky to hit. And there's 83 Nike products to look through, so we can scroll and look for the ones we think are going to be the best for us. So these Nike Flex men's woven training shorts, 13K rank, which is really good. Almost $19 for a pair of shorts, max cost. Only 9 people on this listing, which is probably the specific variation that they have listed. But let's look into it. So we have this open Amazon product page. On a variation listing like this, we don't just want to jump into Google, because we don't really know which variation sells well, whether it's, a men's large in the color black or the color white, or maybe the grays don't sell as well. So we want to look into the data a little more to understand if it's worth even looking into Google and finding it, because we might find it, but then realize that this variation only sells 3 times a month and there's 9 sellers. Well, we're not going to get any sales on that variation. So we want to do some digging on the product to make sure that we're finding ones that are going to sell the most. So once this pops up here, I basically want to scroll down to the Keepa chart, and I want to go right to variations. I have it sorted by ratings because there's some correlation between the number of reviews on a listing and the number of sales that that listing gets, right? The more reviews, the more people that bought that product and reviewed it. So we can see normally these neutral colors are the ones that sell the quickest. There's not a bunch of off colors, but you can see the royal blue, the bright blue are the least amount of reviews, which means it's probably sold the least amount. The black, the grays, the whites, the navies, those normally sell the best. So if we have a bunch that are in the similar percentage range or still have a decent amount of reviews on a decently low ranked product, basically I'm searching for the one that has the highest price. So we can see here the XXL in the color black, $47 buy box. All these other ones are in the low 40s or even the 30s. So let's try that one and look at the chart, make sure it's something worth looking into, make sure there's not too many sellers on this variation, stuff like that. So we can see that in the past, the price was, above $40, so that's a good sign. It was inflated around Christmas time, but it's kind of leveled out back towards that $45 to $48 range. So we can assume that if we're going to sell this variation, that $47 price is probably going to hold. So now our max cost is $26 compared to the storefront is selling this variation. Their max cost is only $18, $19. So maybe you saw this and wanted to skip the product, but after looking into it, we see that there is a variation that we might be able to find, and it's a lot higher max cost than what we saw on the other storefront. So it doesn't hurt to look into these variation listings, even if the storefront you're looking at doesn't specifically have that variation that you're looking at. So we can go into Google here. Just going to copy and paste the title of the Amazon listing into Google and then pop up a bunch of other sites here that might be selling that product. One thing we want to keep in mind is it has a gray swoosh on the Nike, but the rest is black. So these white swooshes, not quite the same. Does that matter? It might matter. So we just want to keep that in mind. The pricing on some of these, like this looks like the similar, the woven training shorts, Nike, $27. That's right around where we want to be. Otherwise, if we look at shopping, I'm not seeing a ton with the gray swoosh, which might be a problem. Some of the pricing on some of this stuff looks decent, and this even looks like the same picture as one of the variations I was looking at, but it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to find that exact variation. And if you actually picked one that had the white swoosh, are people going to notice? Not really sure, but for me, I always want to sell the exact product just in case an IP claim happens or someone claims inauthentic. Then you have exact product and documentation to back that up. So looks like we might not be able to find this exact one, but if we look back at the variations, I think there was one more that had a pretty high buy box cost and a decent amount of ratings. So we have the small in the Gunsmoke gray color, 42 ratings, 3%, not horrible at a 15K rank. So let's look into that once real quick just to make sure that we can't find this one, because this has just a black swoosh, a light gray. Maybe we'll be able to find that. Max cost is still up there at the $26 range, so let's take a look. And right off the bat, we can see that Nike has this, and it's discounted well below what we want to get for our max cost. So, and that's a good sign. So, $26.76. It's the size small, woven, flex. Let's see if we have a direct match here. Get rid of some of these. All right, it's the small woven, so let's just see if we have the exact 9-inch woven training shorts. Looks to be exactly the same. Let's just make sure on the back side it has the similar style. The strings are on the inside, which I think is what we wanted. It's the black swoosh. They have the size small available. Pretty cheap. Let's just make sure it's the same here. Any of these show that in the back? Yeah, it's a little bit different in the back. Okay, so it must not be the 9-inch woven. It must be something a little bit different, or this is just an updated style. Don't think we're going to be able to find this kind of, it's just a little bit different on the back side. So let's keep looking a little bit further. We have a tennis point site for 21, but it looks like the exact same photo, so I'm assuming the product's the same. Shields has something. Let's see if they have that gray color. Looks like they don't have it in stock. They do have black version, which again doesn't have the gray, so none of these other ones are in stock. Looks like we'll skip this product for now. We'll go through one more product since this took up most of the time, but I really wanted to walk through the exact process that I go through when looking at some of these storefronts, making sure I'm not missing products, but also making sure I'm not spending too much time on a bad product. Right, that one was a decent rank and it had some good variation, so it wasn't the worst to spend a little bit extra time on that listing. But something like, maybe a shoe that's 173K rank with 67 offers on it, and it doesn't even look like maybe a top variation. So that one, maybe I would just skip right off the bat. Shoes get returned more often than other clothes, so I don't sell a ton of shoes anyway. A little backpack, $18 might be a little tricky just from my knowledge of sourcing backpacks in the past. 190K rank, a little bit high. So we will keep looking for one more product that we can look into, and then maybe I'll wrap up this live sourcing. So here's something that's interesting. The chart looks pretty flat. Kids Team Hustle D10, it's a shoe, but 36K rank, not a ton of people on the listing. $32 for a kid's shoe, actually not the worst max cost we could have find, and then we might find a variation that maybe has a higher buy box than 58. So let's jump into the Amazon listing and take a look. So there's quite a few variations on first glance here, but let's see if we can find one of the higher selling variations, or at least one with a good enough buy box that does sell often. So if we go to the variations tab on Keepa, we can see that a lot of the buy box prices on some of these top variations are all in the 40s. We'd like to get that a little bit higher. So this one, still decent, 5%, not super high, but it's still towards the top. We see that the buy box is $59.99, and then the one right below, which is a size 4, 4.5, and 4, are two decent ones at $59, $58. So let's look into that, and then we'll look for that 4.5 kids or size 4 kids. So $33 max cost. Let's hope we can achieve that doing a simple Google search. So let's make sure we got the right product here. Team Hustle D10 basketball shoe. GS is grade school, I believe. Let's see if we can't find the D10 for the right price. We have D10 size 4.5, but it's a little bit expensive there. D9 for Nike, not quite the same shoe, but the price is getting better. Let's see if we can scroll and find anything here that's similar. Shields, nothing's really popping off on sale, but let's go to that first one that I saw here. They have it on sale for $40. So what we can look at here is they have a 4 or 4.5, whatever we want to do. Shop WSS actually has some good sales every once in a while. So if you can get a 10% off, or if you can get $20 off 100 or something like that, maybe you're only ordering a couple pairs. Let's just say we can take 10% off. We're sitting at $36. Maybe you got some cash back. 36 puts us at a little bit low of ROI, but making $5.50. Not something that I would purchase specifically, but if we can get that price down, right? If that $40 can get down to say 30, even 33, like the maximum that we need, then we're looking a little bit better. 26%, $8.50 profit. It's got some room to go down if that were to happen, but the chart looks pretty steady. The amount of sellers not going up like crazy, so we can expect to probably sell this at $60. That is some of the ways that I reverse source and storefront stock to help find profitable products for my Amazon business. All right, so hopefully that little bit slower moving live source was pretty helpful to you guys. I tried to really break down my thought process when looking at the product, especially with those variation listings, making sure we're not missing out on a certain variation just because it's not right at the top there. Finding ones that we actually have a chance of purchasing. A lot of the variations you're going to see are just going to be priced way too low. You're not going to be able to find something unless there's a major sale going on, and if there is, other people might be finding that sale. So hopefully these tips helped you understand the sourcing method a little bit better, teach you a little bit more about storefront stocking, and just make you a better sourcer for these profitable products so you can grow your Amazon business that much quicker. If you guys found this helpful, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.